Todd Barry did not just get out of rehab for a high-profile cocaine addiction. He's got his shirt on. He's not hitting us with shock material about his kids. He's just doing good stand-up comedy. If you like that, you'll like this. A quick note on Marketplace Inside Baseball. You can hear Todd talk a little bit about how this special got made on WTF with Mark Maron, episode 1467. All Things Comedy shot it with Todd and then took it to market to try to get one of the streamers to pick it up. They all declined, and I think that was a mistake. Now granted, it's only a mistake in a world where these decisions get made based on artistic merit. I wasn't in the room for any of those discussions, obviously, but this is an extremely proficient comedy special. I think it should have been a stair step for Todd Barry, one that he could rely on to repeat in a year with new material, one that all comedians who make good work could rely on. But I'm not sure that's the case. Deals fall through for lots of reasons, but still, my uninformed outsider's opinion is they should have bought this. It's good. It's also interesting to me that the special could have gone to TVOD or some of the new AVOD streamers like Tubi, but no, they just dropped it on YouTube. Now, Todd Barry's crowd work tour special is on those streamers like Tubi, but this one's not, which means that they must be looking at the numbers on the former and deciding it's not worth it on this one. There are a lot of comedians right now making a similar choice to put self-produced specials out on YouTube, and I think it says something about the landscape. Namely, the streaming dog and pony show is facing a correction. So, we begin. Todd Barry takes the stage, grabs the mic, moves the stand, thanks the crowd, and starts saying jokes. No frittering about. His first laugh is just to be self-deprecating about the crowd response.
That is the type of forced, fraudulent crowd response that will propel this whole show.
An interesting note here. Barry's getting a lot of extra mileage out of each word in the sentence using his pauses, which is something that we'll see him continue throughout the material. Using the way that he pauses, he's almost using the latter part of sentences as if they were tags, even though they are part of the joke still in progress. You could say the same thing reworded as a classic joke with a tag like this. Thank you all for that response, which was forced and fraudulent. It will propel this whole show. Now, my rewrite sounds stilted compared to Barry's way of doing it, and his way achieves the same thing because he still gets two laughs in the same time. We will see this again within the first chunk. Watch for a single joke with a setup, punch, and tag, and then a very long setup, another punch, and then a lot of tags in a row.
I did a show recently. It was 10 guys been yelling out the entire night through every comedian's act, yelling stuff like titties. You know, helpful stuff. They eventually threw them out, and they're out in the hallway arguing with the bouncer, and it got really heated. And the littlest guy in the group was right in the bouncer's face, like, yeah, man, lay a hand on me, I dare you. I'm a lawyer, I can sue you. He actually said that, I'm a lawyer, I can sue you. Because as you know, only lawyers can sue people. He's so lucky he had that job. Otherwise, man, yeah, man, lay a hand on me. You'd be crazy not to. You will get away with it. I work at a magic shop. Sadly, I'm not a lawyer.
The next chunk is about what it's like to be Todd Barry. He assumes the role of a megalomaniac trying to convince a kid he's famous. It's very well done.
I don't know what movies you've seen at your young age, little Janie, but I bet you saw one called Pootie Tang.
He again uses his pauses to turn sentence fragments into tags, especially as he's nearing the end of the chunk and talking about the Venice Film Festival.
I got to go to the Venice Film Festival for the premiere, huh? I mean, they made me pay my own way, but when I got there, they let me watch a movie. Yeah, $3,300 flight. $700 for a tux, yeah.
Next, there's a chunk about being a comic during COVID. Todd mentioned in his Maron interview that he kind of wishes he'd cut this part out, but they shot the special a year ago when the COVID material was more fresh. He's not wrong. We have heard a lot of COVID material, and maybe we're fatigued by it, but it was a very consequential thing that happened to all of us. Going back to the pauses, I love the use of quiet in this special. I think it can really elevate material if you show the audience that you are comfortable being quiet. Todd Barry has been at this a long time, and it shows.
She was like, It's not good.
He does a whole section about an exchange with a waitress, and he nearly whispers the whole thing, standing motionless on stage, and he's getting laughs on every line.
What's not good? The Italian dressing. It's not good. It's not good.
Now, again, this is a friendly room, and he is known to them, but still, it kind of reminded me a little bit of something Stuart Lee would do. And he even ends the chunk by going meta about how long it was, which is very much something Stuart Lee would do. At about 17 minutes in, we lapse into crowd work. I say lapse because I'm currently a little fatigued by it. It plays so well on social media, but my personal feeling is it is making comedy more combative precisely because it plays so well on social media. I want to hear people write and say polished material. I'm not that impressed by comedians roasting crowd members. Of course, Todd Barry has done a whole tour before of nothing but crowd work, and he's not digging into everyone's sex life or trying to stir up any drama. He did a great job of weaving it in with callbacks throughout. So, as much as I'm kind of worn out on vertical video crowd work clips, this stuff did make me laugh. The special ends with a somewhat weird chunk. Todd shows off some famous people he's met and does some self-deprecating jokes about them, mixed in with some photos of and jokes about his cat. It seemed like an odd choice to me to do that rather than having a solid chunk of material to end the show. For example, he could have played for the exact same amount of time, but moved the chunk that he did about finding a therapist by how close they are to the end. I'm sure he has his reasons. Overall, I like this a lot. Lots of great moments, very nice delivery. I would say it definitely increases my desire to see Todd Barry live. And I think there's a lot to learn from the delivery as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and maybe jump on the Patreon if you want to support. I'd love to have you. And if you want to talk about comedy with people who are trying to do it in a constructive way, we also have a Discord channel.